So great. Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? My name is Stephen Dossou, all the way from Togo, TOGO. I'm an inspirational speaker, transformational coach, co-founder of Leadership Dutch University, and founder of Selfless Catalyst. And my passion is in people. I want to grow people. I want to develop and share whatever knowledge that I have. That's why I have again gone all around the world and found one amazing human being today. We're hanging out with Tien today. Tien is the author of over 6 books and having never ever stepped foot in classroom. I mean, how crazy is that? Tien is all the way from Timor, Leicester. He has been to Australia, spoken on numerous stages, and has founded, my bad, Tien.com. He's an inspirational speaker, coach, and you know what? He teaches people how to write their books in less than 24 hours. How crazy is that? Well, look, enough said about Dedy. The man is here himself. You know, the African proverb says, you cannot put the hat on the knee if the head is there. So the head is here today. Let us ask Tien. Hi, Dedy. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm very well, brother. Wow, 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 my man, my man. Your energy, your passion, man. You know, just being around you. This is what I've like feel and I felt when I come in contact with you. That energy, just like that passion, that, just penetrate through the. I can sense that you are passionately about helping people to grow and all this. Oh man, I'm actually really pumped and grateful that you invited me into your program and live Facebook live video here. And so, yeah, man, I want to share everything that I've got to help the people that are with us right now, to help themselves to grow to the best version of themselves, so to become whatever that they want to become and also achieve their dreams. So, yeah, I'm pumped, man.
Yeah, awesome, man. Look, Dedy, I just want to make mention to people out there, right, that Tien is originally from Timor Leste, right? The place as much as Togo that nobody knows of. So I want you, after this interview, to go onto your Google Maps and Google Timor Leste, because he's most likely to be the first and last person you will ever meet from Timor. The first development guru that's from Timor Leste. Dedy, listen. I know that your life is a journey, your life is a mystery. I've read your book, Inspire, in which you tell it with a very powerful way to paint pictures. You tell about, your journey, the things you feel through, sometimes being at the verge of death, challenges, but that did not stop you. Anyway, look, I'm not the one that's going to do the interview here. I'm the one asking you questions, right? So tell us, Tien, what has been your journey, and you know what, how did you get to write so many books in so little time? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, thank you very much for that question. Yes, Stephen. So I grew up in the environment, one could say, where my mother and my father would rather have seen me in the field planting trees and horns and all this than in a classroom read how to write or read. So that's basically the environment that I grew up in. So, one day I was so frustrated because we had no choice, but we had to, as you read the book Inspire, where I talk about like we had to literally, the government forced us to immigrate to Indonesia at that time. So long story short, I walked down the alley, and then I look up to this signage, and it used to frustrate me because I was like, I wish I could just read that, I wish I could just read, what they were saying. And then especially when I watch movie, right, Brother Stephen, I was like, far out. I just want to understand what they were talking about.
Yeah.
And I guess from that burning desire, I call it inspiration, I believe you have it as well, like that, that's why you are here. You have that passion, one could say, and you just want to do something. And that's what I had that at that time. And I still have right now that, that burning desire to be able to write and to be able to read. and that led me to ask questions, obviously ask questions like on to the people that actually can write and read, and then they show me in terms of English they show me like how to read the alphabet A B C and all that. In terms of Indonesian, they told me how to do this babi bu blah 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 blah, all that stuff to be able to learn how to read in bahasa and all that. So that's just like a long story short, and that's just, one could say, the glimpse of my journey that inspired that burning desire within.
Okay, great. Thank you. But you know what? Let's backtrack a little bit, right? So, your life in Timor Leste, where you said that your parents would rather have you working in the farm, I mean, not to say that there's nothing wrong with the farm, right? But we all know how important it is to read. I mean, everything is in reading, right? There are people that have taught themselves the amount of knowledge of PhDs and professors just through books, right? So tell us a little bit, how was your life like in Timor Leste? People don't know Timor Leste, right? How was your life like? How was the daily routine, and what would you then say is your life today compared to what it could have been in Timor?
Yeah, that's a really good question, brother Stephen. Yes, so Timor, you see, what would that like? I always ask myself this question sometimes, like see the contrast between when I was in East Timor and now I'm here in this beautiful island, Bali, and also I've been to the Australia and then experienced the Western kind of like lifestyle. I see the contrast was that sometimes I say both are there's no right or wrong or poor or rich in this scenarios, in these two. It's just like the lifestyle. Like for me, when I was around 14, I believe 14 years old, when I was in East Timor, I enjoyed it, like every moment of it, because I spent the time with my brother and my sister. We went to the river. We had a great time, and then I grew up in the environment where mom and dad also very, very, supporting in terms of like, taking care of us and all that. So I would say, it was a beautiful, beautiful place, and then beautiful childhood memories, except the war and all that in 1999, and so it changed everything. And that's the very reason why I'm here today, because of the war.
Okay.
That's just a little bit of of East Timor. But if you were to compare with the life now, I went through that process in order for me. Sorry, it's a little bit windy here. I just make sure that my iPod stays still. So I believe everything happened for a reason. I had to go through all the process in order for me to become who I am today, to inspire, to empower others that life, sometimes anything is possible, and you just have to believe it, and then have the right and right mindset and all that. So that's kind of like the passion. So
look, I mean, for me, when I look at you every time, it blows my mind each and every time, right? Because in my mind, there is almost no logical explanation to the fact that the person that has never gone to school has now written very good selling books, up to 6 books, right? I just don't understand it, right? So what do you think is the learning process, right? What has happened? Who did you have to become in order for you to teach yourself how to read and write, and that led you to write one book, and then the second, and then the third, and then the fourth? No, man, like, come on, how? Tell us about that process.
Certainly, I am actually more than happy to share that with you. I've learned this from my mom. Actually, my mom was my hero. If I'm anything today, brother, if you see me and you say that, yeah, Daddy, you accomplished this and that, so you're something, I would say I give that credit to my mother. The very, very simple reason, she lives her life by these 3 principles, and those principles were just very simple. One is smile, she would just go around and smile. When we were live in this place where we had nothing, like no food, no water, we have to fight for each other for these basic necessities. It's like, but her attitude towards the situation that we found ourselves in, simple. She would just go to our neighbors, knocking on the door and smile at them and ask. So smile and ask. So I learned those two principles. It's easy. Okay, smile and ask question. So I started with the attitude. I think it all comes down to attitude. If you are friendly, if you are really come from the place of like want to learn and want to grow yourself, and life will help you in the to help you to achieve that. So I learned that from my mom. First, smile, because later on I discovered that smile and the world smiles with you. Okay, I say okay, smile then. And then the second, my mom always asked. I observed who she was. She was just kept asking the question, like can you help me with this, and ask the question. So ask for help and all that. So I implement that into my life. And then the last thing that I've learned from her is that it's the doing, like do. It's like I've never observed her over promising anything, but she just keep everything simple, but then she would just go and take action on whatever that she wants to do, like promise to people that she will deliver the food or whatever. She would just say little, but then the doing, like the action, she just take actions. So then I've learned those three principles, simple principles. Just smile to the people around you, ask a question if you want to learn. That's how I learned how to write and read. I would just go around and I say, hey, in fact, like till this point, I still go around and ask people like, hey, can you show me how to write like that? Or, can you show me how to market my business, or, how to speak, English properly, all that. At the moment, I still learn all this. I still implement all these three principles. So first, smile, ask question, and then just go out there and then take action and do. So that's what I've learned from my mother.
So I mean, those are very basic principles that we surrounded by, right? But the truth is, not all of us get to apply them. And look where it took you, right? So smile, ask, and do. Be a doer. But look, here's the thing, right? I mean, smile. I believe that everybody can have a smile just like that. Ask questions. Yeah, but what kind of questions do you ask? So I just wonder then. I mean, for normal people, right, there will be, a shame, right, or there will be an absence of courage to go out there and be bold and say, hey, listen, man, I don't know how to read and write. Teach me how to read and write. So how do you overcome, that cloud of doubt, that cloud of fear, and of going out there and expose yourself in a vulnerable way? Because not everybody can do that.
Mm-hmm. That's really good. Yeah, that's a really good question, Stephen. If I were to look back, I would say it's like everything. You practice and you get better at it. And with this question, it's like muscle as well. The more that you ask the question, you build that asking muscles. And I believe that's how I started. I mean, if you were in the bottom of bottom of the bottom of life, you have no choice other than ask question. Or you have another way, which is do the wrong thing. But for me, I think that was my only option, I guess, to ask the question, and that from one question led to another, and then so forth, and that's how I grew to this point. Yeah.
One of my past executive, his name is Paul Bennett. He used to say that when you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. When you find yourself, stop digging and climb back up, right? Yeah.
Climb up. So ask question by climbing up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I guess that's what you did. Well, so I mean, what are these 6 books that you've written about, and what do they talk about?
Yeah, cool. I more than happy to share it with you. So the first one, obviously, just about myself and how I want to share my story to inspire others. That's why I call the inspiration, inspire an inspirational journey through the eyes of a Timorese boy. And then the second book is all about reclaim your personal power, because when I used to live in Perth, Australia for 7 years, because of the cultures, because of the differences and all this, I found myself in a hopeless and powerless situation. And I blame the environment. I blame because of the government, because this, because that. And then I discovered that no, that's not because of the environment. That's because of you. You give your power away by blame the environment, blame the people around you, but take full ownership. And that's what inspired me to create the book Power. And then the third book, which is Empower Yourself. Now, the Empower Yourself is all about, sorry, that's the fourth one. The third one is the Change Makers Manifesto. The Change Makers Manifesto, which is, I just gave it away. I just give it away at the moment. Wow. Which is Change Makers Manifesto is all about helping entrepreneurs like me. I consider myself as someone who, like business owners and want to create his business. And so I've learned all these skills from my coaches, the business coaches and all this. And I put all the tools together into a practical step-by-step approach on how you can create and map out your life desires and all that. So that's within a book. And there's a workbook and also story and all that, method and all this morning mastery ritual and so forth to help you to accelerate your brain power and so forth. So I've learned and did some research around, brains and all this. So accelerate the brain power and performance. And that's the Change Makers Manifesto. And then the fourth book, which is called Empower Yourself, and it consists of 7 success principles, which is consists of the word empower. That's why I call Empower Yourself, which is empower. E stands for energy. The important, when you go to the market, it's not about your business plan. It's not about your strategy. It's about your energy. If you have high level of energy, you go and then you just get things done. You get things done in an hour compared to a guy who one could say have a low energy. It takes him or her like 2-3 weeks or maybe a year to just get things that when you have high level of energy, get it done in there. That's why people say, come on, Dedy, how can you write a book in less than 24 hours? I say, hey, when you have the energy, my friend, you can do anything. But if you don't have the energy, because energy is the most important asset, you have to take care of your energy. So I talk about that in the word empower yourself. And then the second is the mindset. I talk about the importance of master your mindset, which is make the time to think, act. If you want to be successful in life, you want to act like a successful person first. It is easier to start to behave your way into the new way of thinking than think your way into the new way of behaving. And this has come from the positive psychology. It tell us that if you want to be successful, it's like the principle of fake it until you make it. You gotta start to act like the person that you want to become. And then the success, understand that when success means different things to different people, but for me success is all about creating. You don't chase success, you create success. You see, for me that's the definition of success. You don't chase success, you create success. The way to fly the airplanes has been here with us the whole time, but took brothers to discover the way how to fly the airplane. But the truth is that the thing it has been here with us, and the same with this iPad or with this whole thing, and it's here. It's just we need to tap into it. Into that dimension, because everything is already here. The success that you want, the $1 million that you want in your bank account, it's here with you. It's just a matter of tapping into to discover it. And then think twice and act once. I talk about that in the book in the detail. Many people, just go through their emotions and just allow the emotions to direct them and control them. And as a result of that, they don't get a lot of things done in life, in personal and also in personally and professionally, because they just take action for the sake of take action. But when you take the time to think twice and act, then you get things done. And then also shift from excuses to execution. And last one is the importance of read. I read like sometimes 2 books in a week. And now I've learned this simple way to read book fast by the gentleman named Jim Quick. He's really good. He taught people how to read fast and also all that. So, and that's the book Empower. And then at the moment I work on the book called Selfless Leadership, which is 10 timeless principles. I've studied all these great leaders around the world, people like Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, and I spent time and to just learn, like when I study them, like what's their secret sauce of being a great leader. People like Mahatma Gandhi, it's very inspirational, and Martin Luther King. So I watched their first. I watched their autobiography. I watched their video, and I read the book, and then I observed that there's a 10 timeless principles. If you don't mind, I just quickly brush through these 10 timeless principles, which is the book that I'm working on at the moment. It's called Selfless Leadership, 10 Timeless Leadership Principles, which is, I also asked the question, how can I share the principles to people? Because at the moment, the Como hotel, they've reached out and asked me to go and then present to teach communication and leadership skills with their people, their organization. So that's where at the moment I put this. At the moment I'm working on this book and also put the presentation together. So that's my team at the moment. He's working with me. So the 10 timeless principles consist of the. I come up with a mnemonic. So the mnemonic goes like this: lion, eat, antelope, deer, elephant, rabbit, snake, hippo, iguana, possum. Now you like, okay, Dedy, I think I was with you this whole time, but now I think I lost you. I think you spent so much time with all these acronyms and all these great leaders, so you lost me. Bear with me. There is magic, Brother Stephen, behind my method, or there is method behind the magic. So the L in the word lion would remind you to listen. Listen to understand. All great leaders, they all have one thing in common. They are a great listener. They listen to understand and not to reply. And the word E in the word eat will remind you empathy. And then A in the antelope will remind you authenticity. Great leaders are great at that, being authentic, congruent with what they think, their feeling, and their action are in line. And then the D in the word dear will remind you devotion. You want to devote your life. All great leaders, like Nelson Mandela, for example, devoted his whole life to freed his people. That's great example. That's great model. And then the E in the word elephant, the E in the word elephant will remind you being ethical, like ethic. Doing the right thing when no one's watching is crucial, my friend. Like it's the most it's crucial thing, like ethical, and of course I think I don't have time to go deep into the whole here, but I just want to go through, which is the R in the word rabbit. It's responsibility. All great leaders, they take full responsibility, ownership. They don't blame the people around them. They don't blame COVID-19. They don't blame the government or the economy. They take full responsibility of whatever that's going on. And then the H, which is in the word hippo, will remind you humility. It's success. Success is a bad teacher. Success can get to people's head. Nothing fails like success. But being humble, stand strong on your feet and being grounded and humble when you achieve something. Like for me, when I've accomplished one book, I go back to zero. Like I act like I've never written a book. So then I have this juiciness. I have this, one could say, newness of looking at things. So then the I in the word iguana will remind you integrity, the congruency between your what you say what you mean and mean what you say, and follow through what you what you say. And that's important. Follow through your promise. And last one, of course, is the P in the word possum, which is remind you persistence. This comes from a great man, Winston Churchill, Prime Minister. he's modeled, he's a great example. When everything around him would just like fall apart and people would give up, but then yet he said, never, never, never give up and keep going, persist until succeed.
Yeah.
And that's what I love. So that's basically the book that I'm working on. I think I need to stop now, otherwise I just go on and on, bro. So back to you.
Yeah, I mean, the quote of Winston Churchill is one of my favorite. Actually, I learned it from the book Think Like a Freak by Stephen Darwin and Stephen Levitt. It says that never, ever, ever, ever give up. Nothing good or small, petty or large, never give in, except to convictions of honor and good sense. Yeah, so he said that quote on the 14th October 1949, right in the midst of World War II, right? So yeah, it's kind of epic. Dedy, look, if you have just joined, lovely people, we are hanging out today with Dedy Tien, all the way from Timor, let's say, currently living in Bali. Dedy is an author, an amazing one. He has written over 6 books, despite of the fact that I have never ever stepped into a classroom. Today, he teaches about leadership, about self-development, about how to empower yourself, how to take steps of courage and faith, regardless of what your circumstances are, right? And Dedy is actually a living example of it. Although, he could have chosen to be at the bottom of our society of not being able to read and write. He chose to take on his deepest fear and make it a strength. And today, he's proud to have written and coaching leaders all around the world. I mean, that how much inspiring is that? Hey, Dedy, back to you, right? Back to you. So, I mean, you are writing all these things, right? And then there's a young man somewhere now looking at you, okay, wondering, okay, so here's this guy that has never been to school, but has written 6 books thus far. So I have been to school, but I'm still trying to figure out, how do I just take whatever idea I have in my mind and put it together that after a week or 2 or a year, maybe, depends on the people, I have my book, right? What is the secret behind that? Do you have like a unique method that people can apply and write a book, succinctly, or there's a magic to it? Please fill us in.
Certainly. So as the book that you read, Inspired, I spent 4 years on that little book. That's so small. Like it was like, 100 pages, something like that. I was like, shit, 4 years, this is ridiculous. So I was frustrated. I was like, damn, there must be a better way. So then, as all of us, when you don't know the answer, you go to Dr. Google. So I Googled it. I said, how to write a book. And then 2 hours later, Brother Stephen, I was in this program. It's called How to Write a Book in Less Than 24 Hours.
Okay.
When I said, hang on a minute. You were about to tell me that I can write my book in less than 24 hours. And here I was, spent bloody 4 years to create less than 100 pages book. What's going on here? Something is not right.
Yeah.
So then 2 hours later, I was into this system, and he basically showed you the step. First you create the chapters, and second you find the topic, and then third, and then I just follow through the system.
Yeah.
And yes, 18 hours I've created the book Power. 18. I was like,
continue.
And then from that day on, I just like, okay, so I just implement, and that's why I put together the presentation, how to write a book in less than 24 hours. Literally just learn from the system, and I just combine with my own flavor in it. And so the first step is always about experience, right? So the very first step the guy taught me was that commitment. Nothing will happen unless you commit to something. I was like, yeah, that's right. That's so true. Because when I created that book, Inspire, I would say, yeah, I'm going to write that book tomorrow. And then when the tomorrow comes, actually, I'm going to write that next week. And then when the next week comes, I'm going to, and then nothing's happened. But the whole thing is that you don't have to worry about the 6 steps. You just have to worry of that one step, which is commitment. Once you commit to something, bang, your energy, your resources, everything in you just flows through into that one thing that you commit to. Now, what do I mean by commitment? Well, schedule it an hour or two in your 24 hours, you know, either in the morning or in the evening, to sit down and actually write the book that you want to write. And that's it. And sometimes you just don't have the inspiration. I know that. You got the writer blogs and all this stuff. And it's okay, but you just sit there. It's like you create the space. Imagine this. I always use this analogy with all my clients and then the people that I share with. I say, imagine this. You cook or whatever you want to call it, gold, like you have this gold ready to shape into whatever that you want to. And then, unfortunately, you don't have this nice block or shape for you to pour this gold into. And so as a result of that, it's just like, and same with the wisdom, the insights, the knowledge, you already have it within you. It's just a matter of you create the shape for it to flow throughout. And then that means that 1 hour, sit still, you know. But the thing is, like, I just want to share with this beautiful quote. A lot of why people don't get things, or they don't create the things that they want to create, like write a book or start their online business or start their business, is because sometimes we don't like spend time just ourselves being on our own. Blaise Pascal said it, like a lot of people's problem comes as a result of they don't, I just paraphrase it, but be still. All man's misery rise from his inability to sit still in a room alone.
Yeah.
That's what you have to overcome, not the things but just if you can still sit still on your own in the room, you can write a book.
Wow. Yeah. That reminds me of Og Mandino, the author of The Greatest Salesman in the World. He describes his work as, he said, it's described in a very, very detailed, very, little details as possible. He said that he wore a blue jean, a white shirt, and back then he was, a dactylo, with his dactylo, and he would sit isolated from anyone else, and he would be there, writing one word at a time till the year has passed and he's got a book. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, cool. Well, Dedy, are there any particular quotes? It could be, coming from you or coming from some other authors. Are there any particular quotes that you've lived by other than the 3 principles of your mother?
Yeah. I literally think that's a powerful question, Brother Stephen. I think it's powerful. So quotes. For me, it's not a quote, it's principles. So I create it. So I actually create a kind of like silver for it. It's an acronym. So acronym to remind me the principles. So I think 2 things. If I can master my energy level, I can get like whatever that I wish to create in my life, I can create it because I have the energy to take action, to think, to move. Yeah. So one thing is this energy, because energy is the most important asset in your life. Yeah. And that's one thing, my principles. And then the second is listen. Listen attentively to not just the people in front of you, but to what's going on. Like listen with your cells, with your body. If you can get those 2 things right, energy and listen with your whole body, and give your undivided attention to the things that you do, your book, your people in front of you, the task, whatever it is, but give your full 120% of your attention by truly listen. Because insight, wisdom, it's all already in you, and it speaks to you like, hey, look, listen. But if there's an ability to actually stop and listen, then it just like pass you through. Yeah. So that's 2 principles that I live by. So one is energy, take care of your energy and protect your energy. everything will take care of itself. Listen attentively, and you will discover something, big inside you, like the wisdoms, the insights, everything is already within you. Just sit still and listen to it.
Interesting. Well, what's the title of the book that you've just launched, you said?
Empower yourself.
The new one.
Yeah. So it's this one. I actually created a shape. I don't know if you guys could do it. Yeah. And then also this one that I actually at the moment still working on, which is I want to spend more time in it around researching, like spend more to I don't know. I want to craft a Picasso level of work, so I want to spend more time in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what keeps you going, man? What keeps you going every single day? Would you say it's because you don't want to go back to the life that you're from, or is it because there is a bigger vision ahead of you? Is it because you just want to live a life that can inspire other people? What is the thing that keeps you going?
Powerful question, right, Stephen? So one thing, the vision to create powerful leaders in Indonesia and all around the world. When I Google, that's the reason, the primary reason why I do what I do. I want to see a powerful, great leaders emerge from Indonesia. When they Google it, they don't just see Tony Robbins. They don't just see that man from Canada or not that man from America. They want to see a powerful leaders from Indonesia. Wow. And how do I do that? I create a book first. I create a method. I create a metaphor. I put it in a simple way for them to understand, and I train them, and I build them, their self-confidence, the self-esteem, and they go there, they lead others. They create impact and influence to grow all the leaders around them. And so we play at the global level. What I mean by play at the global level is that we are, one could say, in Indonesia, there's a powerful leaders that inspire the world, that give, that contribute. That's the mission, bro. That's the passion that I have right now. Yeah.
Wow. Such a big vision, man. I love it, brother. Yeah. So there you are. You've heard Dedy Tien. He's on the go, right? He's on a mission to create and elevate, with thousands of leaders out of Indonesia, mostly from the youth, right? And he's got a method to it. He's got a structure to it. He's got books written about it, right? And he's actually investing his entire life and vision into that. Thank you very much, Dedy, for that vision. Look, Dedy, we are almost at the end of days, right? What is the word that you want to partway with, and how do we find you in case we want to get an inspiration from you? How do we get some of those books of yours and learn some of those golden lessons for leadership and name it, the thousands of lessons that you keep creating every single day? Where do we get them, and how do we find you, and what word of wisdom do you have for us for the road?
Certainly. There's my mother said, if you want to learn something, actually she said that, you go to someone who already, got that thing that you want to create or whatever it is. So I created a map if for a young entrepreneur out there, and like, hey, Dedy, I want to get to know you. I want to, inspired by you. I want to learn, or get the tools from you. I actually created a giveaway. I just create this $20 value of a book, which is called Change Makers, and I give it away. Just go to my website, and within the book, it's for change makers and people. I believe the people who watch this are all change makers and great, leaders. If they don't, I would highly doubt that they won't watch this video. But if you guys watch this video because something inside you, the burning desire that Stephen talked about, that passion and that inspiration maybe inside you that wants to come into this world, and I've created a roadmap that you can pour that analogy that I use, like the gold. You can pour that into the structure that I've created, which is the Change Makers Manifesto. It will help you discover your purpose in life. It will help you discover your values. It will help you discover, with the things that you want to create. And also I've used created a personal empowerment statement where you can use to empower yourself. And so it's just go to my website. It's www.dedytien.com, and it's in the first page when you go there, and just put your email in, and then you'll get the copy, Change Makers Manifesto. So that's one thing that I would suggest to start with.
Epic, my brother. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Go to www.dedytien.com and go and download the Change Manifesto, the ultimate guide to change, the ultimate guide for you to achieve your dreams and goals starting from today. We had Tien all the way from Timor, a gentleman that has never stepped foot in school, but is today a coach and author of over 6 books, and is currently transforming the Indonesian youth by engaging himself on a path despite of whatever challenge is gonna come his way, despite of whoever is gonna say what, he's on a mission to bring a change and to make things happen. So there you have had all the golden lessons of Tien. You gotta believe in yourself. You gotta have a big dream, right? And do not be shameful. Recognize what your weaknesses are and just go to people and ask. The Bible says, ask you shall receive, knock it shall be open, right? So therefore, continue asking, persist in asking till you get what you want. If Tien could do it, from never ever being to school, having written over 6 books and coaching today, organization leaders. I mean, you tell me, right? Who does it? But Tien does it. So thank you very much, Tien. Do you have any words to say before we say goodbye?
Just quote by Henry Ford. I want you guys to remember that whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, either way, you are right. So choose wisely. I would choose that I can do it. So you can do it.
Okay. Whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. The choice is yours. My name is Dossou. I'm an inspirational speaker and transformational coach, co-founder of Leadership University, creator of Ignited Transformation, and founder of Selfless Catalyst. It was my pleasure and honor again, one more time, to bring into you these inspirational, amazing human beings. By the way, a friend of mine, Stephanie Woolard, has just launched a Facebook group. Stephanie Woolard is the founder of 7women.com. She has gone to Nepal when she was at the age of 22, and she started this foundation in which she started training Nepalese disabled women to use their hand creativity and build things. And thus far, for 15 years, she has trained over 6,000 Nepali women today, right? And she has accomplished many things. She has been a UN award, and she's built other companies. Look, it's the group is called Inspiring Humans. Tien, I will ask you to join that group. You got some of their most amazing people that you can find there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining and hanging out with us. Hanging out with us today. It was my passion and pleasure and honor of having you. Remember, you two can be great. See you on top. See you soon. If you want to speak, click on the link. Bye-bye.